It's the Beatles from the beginning to the end. It's their solo careers. It's their humor. It's their incredible music. It's the British invasion. It's their American adversaries. It's an historical musical education. It's the Beatles and a whole lot more. A Beatles fan's paradise. It's BeatlesArama.com. Tune in. You'll love it. Oh, and here we are. How are you, everybody? I'm Pat Matthews, and this is Beatles-A-Rama TV. And, oh, there's Beatles-A-Rama TV on the screen there. I didn't want to really put that one on, but there you go, identifying who I am. And we've had some great guests this week. On Tuesday, we had Bruce Spicer. Yesterday, we had Brute Force, and that was a good time. And today, we're going to outdo ourselves and bring you the one and only Mr. Jack of all trades, Seth Swirsky.
How are you?
Seth?
I'm terrific.
Good,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, so what's going on today? You write any songs today or what?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of writing a bunch of new songs. I'm doing a new solo record and super excited about it. Lots of different styles and yeah, just working out a song. Yeah.
So the next one's going to be obviously a solo album.
Yes.
You know, you and McCartney issuing solo albums in the near future. And
That's right.
Yeah. So how many songs have you completed?
I'm done with 10 right now, but I'd like to get up to 14. You know,
Okay.
and not because the Beatles had 14 songs on every one of their records, except for the White Album, obviously.
Only in the UK. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Yes, but it seems to be a good number though for listeners. You know,
one of your solo albums, I believe it was it Watercolor Day that had 16 songs on it.
19.
19. Oh,
19 songs, but the key to that was how many minutes of music. So it was about the standard length, but my songs are usually about 2.5 minute pop songs. You know, I'm in that kind of mid-60s tradition of, you know, give a full meal, but try to give it in 2.5 minutes. I never was for the 5 or 6 minute song. It has its place, all of it. But my own particular writing style is about, you know, 2.5 to 3.5 minutes.
well, you know, you write pop songs, and you have for a long time. And Beatles-A-Rama has been playing your songs as Beatles for a long time. And we had on these two girls living in Liverpool last week called the Mona Lisa twins. You know them?
Yes.
You know? Yes.
Yes.
They're like, you know, shot right out of 1965. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
You know? They're
Awesome.
bringing back a different style of writing as well as recording. So you know,
Yes.
do you think music has a chance these days to resurrect itself as far as, like, you know, I watched first of all, the Billboard Music Awards was so strange.
Yeah.
It's been weird for a while, but the fact that there was no audience, and you know, and it's just like somebody holding an awards ceremony in their living room, you know what I mean? So it was really weird, and the music is not that great anymore. I mean, I remember looking forward to the Grammys and the Billboard Music Awards, and not anymore.
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, when you look back, I don't live in the past, but when you look back at the 60s, 70s, 80s and stuff, the top 50 songs, whatever, all had great melodies. You could remember each of the songs. You didn't even know where they went to on the charts. It didn't really matter.
Right.
You know, there were just so many they were melody driven. And I really do believe that human beings, we like melody. We like to sing. It makes us happy. But that's not important these days.
Right.
You know,
No.
the time is moving quickly. Things move quickly, and there's kind of no time for that. But then you have people like me that really think that's important, and I really don't want to try and write like whatever is good today because I don't, I can't sing it. See, to me, it's, can you sing it? Can you feel it? You know, is it condensed to a certain amount of time so that you can really, I mean, every Beatles record we ever got, or records from that time, you knew every song, you know? Very rarely did you hear an album that you didn't like. I rarely skipped a song, you know, from then. So that's how I try to make my own records, where you take every song very, very seriously and you make them melodic, and people really just want to put that on over and over. So in answer to your question, so I'm answering in a long way,
No,
but yes,
please.
but yes, I have hope. Yes, I have hope that melody-centric songs will return, because we like to feel good as human beings, and that makes us feel good.
Yeah, and and you've co-written a lot of songs, and who is? Did you write "Love Is a Beautiful Thing" by Al Green by yourself, or was that co-write? You wrote that on your own, right?
Yes.
That's when I found out about that. That blew me away.
Oh,
right? I mean, no. I mean, I used to play that song on the radio, and I mean, you know, forgive me for in the '70s not knowing who you were, but
yeah. Thank you so much. That's very nice.
That was great. And then one time I've actually seen her perform live at the Irvine Amphitheater as Taylor Dane.
Oh, yes.
I took my teenage daughters, well, when they were teenagers, I took them to see her at that amphitheater, and it was a great show. And she did tell it to my heart. And I was like, found out later, you wrote it.
Yeah, yeah. I also wrote her second hit song called "Prove Your Love," which was the follow up to "Tell It to My Heart," and that was, you know, that was. I'm a pop songwriter, so it doesn't matter in what genre. If it's I've written for heavy metal bands, I've written for pop artists, black and white artists. It doesn't matter what female, male. That happened to be with a new artist that was just coming up, and you never know which one is going to be, you know, the one that hits the radio or the one that, you know, hits the dance floors or stuff like that. So it was a very satisfying thing, and I'm very thank you very much for mentioning that you you took your kids
listen,
to that.
I mean, you know, I used to be on the radio, you know, AM radio back in the '70s, and worked a variety of formats. And back when they called it adult contemporary, I played an Air Supply song that you wrote.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah. that was my first song that ever got on a record.
Is that right?
So yeah. So it was obviously, I'm sorry.
What was the title? I just
it was a song called "After All."
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Now I remember. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to play
yeah, that's thank you so much.
Well, listen, you know, you've worked with, I mean, I've seen the video. First of all, I've seen the video where you sang the national anthem at Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
I've seen, people are going to think I'm a stalker. I've seen the video of Davy Jones, rest his soul.
Yes.
At your birthday party or something at your house.
Yes.
Yeah. And, you know, what were you singing? I Want to Be Free, or
that's what started it. Yeah. I Want to Be Free. Yeah. All of the hits. He walked into my back room. I had a guitar on the wall, and I just took it down, and it was very, very spontaneous. I started playing. He started singing, and Henry Diltz, the photographer of the '60s, picked up a video camera and filmed it, and people started coming in. And before you knew, we were having a sing along with Davey singing, me playing, and it was really out of a dream, Pat. It was out of a dream.
Yeah. No, and people can still see it on YouTube.
Oh yes.
You know, look it up, Seth Swirsky and Davy Jones.
Yeah.
And you can watch it as well, and it really is like one of those moment in time kind of things, you know.
Yeah.
You know, because it was very sad when he passed away.
Yes.
And you know, like yesterday, Brute Force was on, and he was talking about Peter Tork, that he'd worked with him, and you know, and so that brought back some, you know, memories and thinking about, you know, sad things and good times.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're not just a songwriter. We're not gonna get away from this totally, but you also are a filmmaker. And you, Beatles Stories, I think it's on Amazon Prime now, right?
Yes, yes. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix anymore. It was for a long time, and somebody just said that they saw it again there. But you know, I have a deep love of the Beatles. I was playing the Cavern Club back in 2004. I brought a video camera with me. I thought I knew everything there was to know about the Beatles, but you're in Liverpool, of all the places. It's magical in my mind. And I just started meeting people on the street. They seem to have a story. I'm thinking, wow, these stories are amazing. When I got back to LA, I just looked up people that I thought had a story about them. So I interviewed May Pang, and she took me back to the place that her and John lived when they first got off the plane back in 1973. And then it was, you know, she introduced me to somebody, and then it was Justin Hayward. And I'm just literally hanging out with everybody I grew up with. Art Garfunkel. I interviewed Sir Ben Kingsley, and it was crazy. George Martin, everybody you can imagine. Brian Wilson, I'm in his house. There's the Grammy Award for, you know, you name the song. There were a bunch of them there. It was really, again, it was just you know, when you have passions for things, people pick up on them and they want to participate. And it was really a love fest to make this movie. And I just kind of collaged together a bunch of these interviews, and it became a movie called Beatles Stories. Was in a bunch of film festival, and it still plays on Sky Arts TV in England. 3 times a year. So it's like, it's funny to see, you know, when they have like the Who documentary, you know, followed by, you know, Interview with Ray Davies, followed by Beatles Stories, you know, I just feel like maybe Paul McCartney's watching it or something.
Well, we can only hope, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So let me just put this up on the screen. In order to ask questions, we need to have, you know, your third born child. No, it's pretty much, that's the way people think of it. You go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, and then it'll ask you for your personal business, your Facebook name and picture. And all you do is say, yeah, I'll do that. And then you'll be able to ask a question. So we've had a hard time trying to get people to do that, but it's the way it is. I'm sorry. You know? Listen, when you got all these bells and whistles on StreamYard, you know, it's like, you got to do it, right? Yeah. So anyway, we're going to talk. Well, before we go any further, I actually have a video of you, and we'll talk about it, working with the one and only Herman of Herman's Hermits. Yeah. So let's watch that video. This is a great song you wrote there, Seth.
Thank you so much.
Ooh, girl. Let's watch.
6 o'clock, I hear the lock turn and she is gone. I'd bury my face in her pillowcase and miss her all day long. Ooh, girl, where are you going? What will you see? Ooh, girl, what do you feel for me? Late for the train in the London rain, but I don't even care. The memory lingers of my fingers running through her hair. Ooh, girl, where are you going? What do you see? Ooh, girl, what do you feel for me? I knew. Ooh, I wish I knew. Ooh, girl. 6 o'clock, I hear a knock. She breezes through the door and throws her hat on the sleeping cat and curls up on the floor. Ooh, girl, where are you going? What will you see? Ooh, girl, what do you feel for me? Ooh,
Yellow. You know what? I'm not saying this to suck up to you at all. That is a perfectly written pop song.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
You know,
I appreciate
so
it.
what's the story? I know that was a Red Button song,
Yes.
right? Was it on the Now It's All This? Was that?
It was, yes. Well, that's our compilation album of our two
Okay.
original albums and then 6 new songs. But that was on our first album called She's About to Cross My Mind.
Okay.
And I originally wrote that song. I was in Paris and I was in a hotel and I was just on a balcony and it was raining out. And I saw this girl just walking with an umbrella. And you know what happens with songwriters? You know, we dream dreams, you know, we come up with the perfect girl in the perfect situation. And, you know, it just, it all flowed. I think I wrote that song in 10 minutes. It just was one of those
right?
that just, it just happened, you know, one of those. Sometimes they happen that way. Sometimes, you know, you have a melody and it's sitting around for 20 years and you pick it up and then it's able to be written or born. But this one just flowed right out.
So you find that sometimes when you write, Seth, that it song writes itself kind of deal?
Very much so. Very much so. They kind of, you know, they always say about running backs in the NFL and football, the great running backs, they don't hit the first hole. They don't see the first hole. They can always see the second hole. They always see the next set of blockers. It's the same with songwriters, or at least myself. I always kind of hear what's coming around the bend. I can hear it, you know? And so that's how a song builds on itself. It's not just the melody you're writing at the second. You kind of hear where it's going. Sometimes that's easier than other times.
So do you hear the melody first, or does it matter?
You know, what happens with me usually is I have either a guitar or a piano, mostly guitar, but a lot, I've written a lot on piano too. I just start playing and whatever I'm playing reflects the mood I'm in. I don't say to myself, I'm in a happy mood, I'm going to write a happy song. I never do that. I just am in a mood, and there's a rainbow of moods that we all have. And whatever I'm playing really does reflect the mood and the chords that you play. Once you get onto something that sounds interesting to you, I'm always singing fake words, but you know, what comes out is kind of the mood that you're in at the moment. So it's not that minor chords mean you're in a bad mood or that upbeat chords mean you're in that mood either. It's just that it comes out. It's almost like a paintbrush. You know, the guitar is a paintbrush, the piano is a paintbrush. So that's how it kind of happens. It starts with music for me because the music then dictates what I want to write about.
Okay.
Now I've been in situations before where I've written lyrics for other people to write music for. I wrote a song with Eric Carmen of the Raspberries, a few songs with him where he's a fantastic lyricist, but he loves writing melodies. So that's the way we tried that at that time. Yeah. But it's usually when I write my own stuff, it starts with the music for me.
Have you ever thought like Eric Carmen, when he wrote All By Myself, of incorporating classical music in with pop music? Have you done that before?
I never have, although it's funny.
I gave you an idea now. See?
Well, what's so funny that you say that is I just put vocals on a song that's going to be on my next record. And I use the name Tchaikovsky, and you know that I'm listening to Tchaikovsky with this, you know, the girl in the song. So it's hilarious that you mentioned that.
Yeah, it is funny. And you know, you just mentioned something about running backs in football. You are an avid baseball memorabilia collector.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love all sports, but baseball is really my main sport. Yeah.
The ball that went through Bill Buckner's legs, is that the most your prized possession or what? Well,
yeah, because that was boy, you know, at the time the Red Sox hadn't won the World Series in, you know, 60, 70 years, and they called that the curse of the Bambino when the Boston Red Sox sold Babe Ruth to the New York Yankees, and they had been in 4 World Series up to that point and had always lost in the 7th game, and here they were about to win it all in Game 6 of the '86 World Series. And Mookie Wilson hit that little roller up along first as, you know.
All he had to do was field it and touch the bag, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it didn't happen that way. And then the umpire picked up the ball and he wrote on it exactly what it was. It's all authenticated. And then somehow the first owner of it was Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, I
and
read
then
that someplace.
yeah, he got rid of his collection, and it ended up, it's just funny how things happen.
He got rid of it because Denise, what's her name, was going to try to
That's right.
take it from him.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Before she got on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, well, listen, we're just pop culture all over the place on this show. Okay. So anyway, let me, I have another video, if you don't mind me playing, which happens to be our Beatlesque song of the week on BeatlesArama.com. And that's the reason I want to play it. It's a Red Button song, and it's Cruel Girl. Not Ooh Girl, but Cruel Girl. The Red Button.
Cruel girl, why you gonna treat me like a fool, girl? Bring me down with everything you do, girl. Break my faithful little heart in two, girl. Cruel girl, I know that I should go, I should walk away. But when I think of how things were only yesterday, it makes me stay. You were so sweet when we first met. Now you're so bad to me, I just can't forget. You're a cruel girl. I'll do anything you wanna do, girl. I'll believe that every lie is true, girl. I could never settle for a new girl. Cruel girl, what keeps me standing here, staying by your side? When the way you treat me, girl, only hurts my pride. I can't lie, I can't forget the words you said. You used to hold me, now you hurt me instead. Every time I walk away, I end up running back to you. It's true. Other girls will treat me better, why you gotta be so cruel, so cruel? You were so sweet when we first met, but then your pretty face went straight to your head. Oh, you're a cruel girl. No one else can hurt me like you do, girl. But you know I'll always be your fool, girl. I could never settle for a new girl. Cruel girl, you're so cruel. You're so cruel. Just don't ever tell me that we're through. Oh, you're so cruel.
Yes. You know, Seth, you have that 60s kind of pop voice.
Thank you so much.
No, I'm serious. Was that stock footage that you use in that? I mean, I know that's a crazy question, but
It was a mix. And let me just correct one thing. My partner in the Red Button, Mike Rickberg, was the lead singer on that song.
Oh, he was.
And I think he's got one of my favorite singers of all time. So
He sounds a lot like you, though. Or you
yeah,
sound-
we
y'all
can
sound
we
alike.
can. There were moments we sang together at the same time, but and I took a lot of lead vocals on our records, and he took obviously many as well. But he was just so well suited for that song, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were born in New England, right?
Yes, I was born in New Haven, Connecticut.
Right. Okay. And I read somewhere one of the first things you did musically was wrote a jingle.
Yeah, when I was a sophomore at college, I wrote the Thomas's English Muffins jingle, and yeah, I was going to college. Yeah.
I bet you that's on YouTube as well, right?
I don't know. But, I was going back and forth. I was going to college up in New Hampshire, but all the action for stuff like that was in New York. So I would literally go to class on Tuesday, leave classes on Thursday, drive down to New York City and try to make as many meetings or write as much as I possibly could. And it worked out,
Oh, look, I took myself out too quickly. I wanted to get in that plug for Beatles stories.
Yeah.
So you went to Ivy League, right? You were in Dartmouth.
Yes.
You went to Dartmouth. Okay. So
Yeah.
you get your degree there, and then you moved immediately out to Los Angeles, or what?
No, I went back to New York City and I got a contract as a songwriter with Chappell Music, which is now Warner Chappell Music. Yeah.
Very cool.
And I started writing songs for different recording artists, and quite a different kind of existence, because
it's kind of like a Brill building kind of deal, right?
Very much. That's what I mean. It was very exciting. I kind of felt like this is what George Gershwin did, I mean, and that, the connection to some of those songwriters, just in New York City of all places, Carole King and all those people, it just makes you feel like, boy, God, I want to make it. I want to get on the radio. I want to see my name on a record, just exciting time.
I saw your name on a record, but I didn't know who you were.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but I know you wanted to see your own name. I get it.
Yes.
But who were some of the people during that time that you wrote songs for, and what were those songs? I know you remember them all, right?
Well, I wrote just some people. I wrote a song for Olivia Newton-John on her greatest hits record. She included 3 new songs. Mine was one of them, called "Not Gonna Be the One." I wrote for Michael McDonald from the Doobie Brothers, a song called "Tear It Up." I wrote a song for Smokey Robinson. I wrote a song for all the artists I grew up with. Some of those R&B groups: the Spinners, the Four Tops, the Delphonics. I love all of pop music, and just to tell you, my new record, the one that's coming out in April, I'm the artist, but I'm doing songs from all those genres. They all happen to be pop songs, though, so it doesn't all have to be Beatlesque. It doesn't have to be. I just have loved writing in all of those kinds of, all that kind of music. So yeah, I wrote for Jane Wiedlin from the Go-Go's, and lots of an array of different artists. It was always a thrill.
Yeah. Do you get to meet any of these people, or you just write the song and turn it over to their musical director or something?
Well, when you're a songwriter, you get records any way you can. In other words, like, you just, I've had the great fortune of meeting some of these people. I met Al Green. That was very exciting. I met Smokey Robinson a few times. And I got to interview him for my movie Beatles Stories, so that was very exciting too. But yeah, over the years, I remember the time I met George Harrison. Somebody introduced me to him, and the first words out of my mouth were, "George, you have the number 8 song on the Billboard charts right now, and I have the number 7 song." And he goes, "What's your song?" And I told him, "Tell It to My Heart." And he goes, "Oh, Donnie loves that song. We were listening to it the other day." And I'm like, is this conversation happening? I mean, things like that. You just, it was all, there were so many great stories. So much fun.
Yeah. What's going to be the title of the new record?
Pop songwriter. Pop songwriter.
Pop songwriter?
Yeah.
You know what? A lot of times on Facebook, you will, you also paint. So I didn't mention that, but you put a picture of the painting, and you ask people to name it. Yeah. And I get so jazzed when I come up with something and you actually like it.
Oh yeah. You always come up with some terrific ones, if I remember correctly. Always creative. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And you use those on your albums and stuff too, right? So
yes.
The album art. Yeah.
Well, my last solo record was in 2016, and it was called Circles and Squares. And it took a piece of one of my paintings that showed some of the circles and squares that I paint. And the reason that the title was I was simplifying my life. And it reflected itself in the paintings I was painting at the time, which were a lot of circles and squares with a lot of other stuff going on. But that was the basis of it. And so it's kind of like my songs in many ways. I like to keep it simple, but melodic and kind of fun. So, you know, you want to look at it or see it or whatever. That's what I try to do in all the work that I do.
Well, you know, we're a couple of old guys here, you know, and we have grown children, and you have grown children,
Yes.
and your son Luke. I mean, great genes going on there because he's in the music business too, right?
Yes.
And your daughter's an actress, if I'm not
Well,
mistaken.
I have a 16-year-old daughter who's a dancer, and my 18-year-old son Luke is, you know, just recorded Elton John, which was like a shock, you know, to see a picture of my son with one of my great idols growing up. I mean, and then my son
he didn't tell his dad he was coming over either, did he?
Well, he did at the last minute because he was already nervous enough, you know. And my son Julian is 26. He's my eldest, and he's a senior vice president at Republic Records. So he's signing a lot of different artists, and my kids really, they grew up with a lot of music in the house. There was always something going, and it's just satisfying to see that they also enjoy the arts.
And you're on Gem Records, and
Yes.
there are some, I remember seeing that label. It's been around a while, right?
Yes, Marty Scott, very nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Who are some of the other artists? I mean, not that that matters, but
Sure. I think the Weaklings are on that label, and there are, boy, I would have studied up if if I knew that question was coming.
It's not a quiz. Don't worry about it.
Marty always signs some really good, you know, really great artists. So can't go wrong there.
I have a friend in New Orleans, and he, you know, he memorizes all of these record labels and what they look like, and he sees it in his head, and you know, and so I'm sure he could tell me everyone who's on Gem Records.
Right.
But don't feel bad because I don't know either. I just know Seth Swirsky is on Gem Records.
Thank you.
Well, listen, man, it's been really fun, and I don't want you to go away right away. I have some business to take care of with you off the air. You know, got to get you to sign a disclosure agreement. I'm just,
of course.
Yes, always joking. But listen, Seth, this has been really nice, and thank you for coming on. And I want to tell everybody that you can look for, what is it, Pop Songwriter?
That'll come out in April, yeah.
That's coming out in April, but then look up, I mean, get the CDs if you can, but, you know, go on YouTube and look for the red button and look for Seth Swirsky. There's his name. You can't misspell it. And you will be turned on to some really great music and see him sing the national anthem at Wrigley Field. And also his birthday party songs with Davy Jones and all kind of stuff. You got to go see it. But
thank you so much.
We will talk to you later. And
wonderful.
Everybody, tell your friends they can see this on. It's going to be replaying on the Facebook fan club page, also on something called Twitch, which we're finding out more about every day, and also on the Beatles-A-Rama YouTube channel. And thanks again, Seth.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
All right, man. That's it. All right. And we want you to check us out, become a subscriber. Please go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. I don't want to have to buy subscribers. Can you do that? I don't even know. Anyway, have a great weekend. All right. See you later. I did that already.